Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of What If the Continents and Oceans Were Switched. And we're going to start off this episode down here in the southern region. We have some pretty big stuff to talk about later in the episode. But for now, we need to talk about all of these guys. Because a lot of these powers over here, not really powers, but a lot of these countries over here see that these guys united and they are pretty successful. And they want to do the same. So we see the first union be, or I guess the Western Madagascar Union, or no, the Eastern Madagascar Union be created. It includes all these countries right here. So that lime green country is a part of it. They're like the leader for the most part. And yeah, their capital will be over here. And these two are rivals. They're competing with each other, but they're pretty diplomatic. They're pretty neutral with each other in terms of their status, like their diplomatic status. But since those guys unite, the people up north are going to. They need all these guys. They think they need help, and like basically, the main gist of this union is that they need safety in numbers. So they unite together, form a bigger blue country. And as we zoom out, we can see that the countries that are here are growing bigger and bigger. So that is very interesting to see. And now we need to get to more important topics. Specifically, the Cyan team. Now there has been some weird stuff going on with them recently. I will tell you that. You already know. You should already know. And it's going to continue amplifying until it gets to a breaking point. And this is in the old capital of the purple team. All the way over here. They had to move it because the Cyan team got control of it. And their leader had just went in a ship through here. They went through here in a ship over to over that city. They were holding a parade and a pretty big diplomatic meeting. And before he gets there, he is assassinated. And no one knows who has done it. But his successor, his son, is very aggressive. He is probably one of the most aggressive leaders in all of history. And he has some stuff he needs to do. And one of these is declare war on the orange team. So this is a pretty major event, especially considering it's in this area, which is like where life started in this series. So all these countries are very highly developed. But he will just march his troops on it. And yeah, as you can see, there are a lot of major cities here. And the purple team is not going to like this at all. So they're, of course, going to help. But the border is cut off with the orange team. But eventually they will encircle some troops here. And with help of some resources from their old allies, they will be able to push these guys back in the south, at least. As in the north, they are losing a lot of ground. Probably not that much. The purple team will continue to move up into these areas, almost capturing another major city. But by this point, a giant force just comes flying in, and yeah, I was over for that. They got them out of their land, but interesting enough, they're not going to attack them really. And eventually, it leads to the orange team just surrendering after they capture this major city right by the capital. They will end up surrendering. And in this peace treaty, they acquired 2 different pieces of land right here, which grows their empire larger. They didn't want to take too much, but in return, they do turn these guys into a puppet state, so we do need to draw on that outline. So this is a very dark time for these guys. Especially after they had to leave their purple team behind. They get a whole new government. One that is focused on building themselves up and not focusing on anyone else besides for the Cyan team. And after this, the purple team will, because the alliance is gone. And in return for this, each of them joined the new alliance. So the alliance is left behind, and they each joined alliances. And there are 2 alliances right here, but the big one that they're going to be joining, at least now anyway, they will be joining the Trapezoid Alliance, which is the one that I think they were more tied to the Diamond team at one point, but now they're just gonna switch over because these guys are closer to them. And slowly but surely, these 2 alliances, there's going to be something weird going to happen. To talk about that, we need to talk about something else. And it's this map. So this is a kind of weird map, but this is basically what right now the world thinks of continents. So going over this real quick, we have like the old world basically. So we have these islands that are counted in it. We have this area up here where life started up here, and we have the Mediterranean, the Caspian, the Black Sea, the Red Sea. We have the Persian Gulf up here, and then of course this side of India and Africa and Arabia, where they all meet. Over to the west, we have like the Chinese plate, I guess, probably called the Korean plate. So we have the old world plate, the Korean plate, or the Korea, old world Korean plate. This is like the north. Basically, that's literally it. So there's like these islands here, and all the northern territories. All up here where they draw the line. And they had this little area up here, which probably shouldn't even be considered one. It should probably just be considered an extension. Like that, so that's included on it. But there's the northern Atlantic and the southern Atlantic here, who have claims, kind of like claims over the ocean. We should probably make that a little bit more fair. There is, yeah, it goes all the way down here into Argentina, and then there is the central one, which goes all the way from over here in South Africa, all the way up through like places like Australia and places like the light red team. And then we have the last one, basically the Colombian plate with Colombia and the Incan Empire, basically. So those are the plates, and the reason why we need this is because, and this is the creation of the Continental Pact. The core members are the purple team, the red team, the Mediterranean team, and the peach team, but there are going to be a lot more to join. And one of these nations, being the dark blue team right here, they are going to be joining the Continental Pact. And you might not have inferred by now, the Continental Pact is named this way because the colonies span the continents. That's pretty much the only reason. So yeah, they have continents. Technically, they have something pretty much everywhere right now. And they span like up to 3 continents, basically. Which is true. They do span up to, technically, in their words, 3 continents. But this is going to be getting much bigger. Because the cyan team has just joined the alliance. Well as the blue team. The lime team. The hot pink team. And last but not least, Australia. Most of these guys are in the old plate or around this area, besides for Australia, which is quite weird considering they're pretty far away. But their reason for joining is them and the light red team have a pretty growing rivalry. They don't like each other at all, unlike the rivalry between these two. These guys pretty much can like hate each other because of the two Java wars they fought over here. And so they joined this but that's not all the additions to alliances we see. As we see, this purple country join this alliance, and we go ahead and see this light gray team join the Continental Pact. Now, I know that was a lot, but we're going to be taking a break from that with some expansion and exploration as we see the Australian country moving around more in the south here. And they're just going to be exploring more up this coast of South America. They don't go too far, however, because they're getting pretty far away. But this is where they expand. And they go all the way up the coast here. And eventually, they're just going to keep exploring out. Because this area is pretty fertile. It's pretty good land. It is very cold here. Think of this as being like Denmark. This is kind of like Denmark, I feel like, in my series anyway. It's kind of like Denmark from real life. So it is okay. It's pretty good living conditions. And they built themselves kind of around the southern tip of South America. So they will be doing very good. They can like travel across it quite easily now. And moving up to here, to Colombia. These guys were expanding a lot last time. But they only will be expanding up the coast of Guatemala. Up here. That's really all they do. They fill in that little area right there. Because I said so. And they go ahead and beat out to this thing right here. They go all around that and take it. So they did take a lot of land, actually. More than I thought that I originally had in mind. But I like it, so we're keeping it. The Incan Empire, or not the Incan, I think it's the other empire. But these guys, however, will be expanding a bunch. And when I mean a bunch, I mean a bunch. These guys have grown really big. Their population over the past few years probably doubled from like 10 million to 20 million. Or even more than that. Probably like 100 million to 200 million. So they are one of the most populous countries in the world. Probably right after the Peach Team. And the Peach Team and the Purple Team. Who both have around, I want to say, 300 million each. 350 million each. So they are, yeah. So these guys are pretty strong. They will expand that much. Call it good. That's really it for the Americas, however. We do see the Great Lakes being fully explored. All of them. Michigan, Huron, Erie. All of them. I think I named them all. And they will quickly be taken over by this country right here. And these areas are these are like some of the best areas in the Americas to like live right now, in this time period anyway. And they are quickly able to grow into a sea empire. Next place we will be looking at, however, is Madagascar. East Madagascar and West Madagascar, both of them, are going to be expanding more around the Madagascar for the main reason of rivalry. They're still going on about this. I don't know. I really love these old borders. So, hopefully I'll replicate them. Pretty much. But they do have to, at the end of the day, they will be expanding. Even though I love their borders. They will be expanding like this. Yeah, I think, that's good. But, exploration down south, around this lake, it's pretty cold down here. But they think there's more lakes. And they are right, they do find one more lake. But they think there's more. So they're going to keep going and going until they hit what they think is a really big lake. And they explore around it and they realize it's probably more like a sea or an ocean. So then they send some more explorers down through this line here. And they find Antarctica. So that is pretty big. We have every single ocean being discovered. And immediately, people are going to flock down here. People who don't have like the best countries are going to flock down here and create their own country. They're going to move out like this. Weird shape for a country. but it works. They're going to have their biggest settlement, however. Their biggest settlement right here, where it's a little bit less cold. But yeah, it is still very cold down here. And they thought it would be better, but it probably wasn't from wherever they came from. Kind of just depends. If they came from, like, the Cyan team, then yeah. But most countries at this point are probably have pretty much a pretty good life. A pretty good lifetime. And it's like I'm going to say the Industrial Revolution is kicking off. That's where we're at. That's how far we are. The Industrial Revolution probably began like 40 years ago. By the start, probably by the start of the Cyan team's fascism. But the Industrial Revolution is going on. So they do have some pretty good technology. It is probably the year like mid-80s. The mid-1850s. Not mid-80s. The mid-1850s. And yeah. So we are getting pretty close to modern time. So we'll just have, but as the series continues, the time span of each episode will get shorter and shorter and shorter until it ranges from like a year at a time instead of like a decade, which is like around the episode right now. The last event of the video is the light red team going to be attacking people, but not to the south this time, as they are attacking this little green country. Once again, I'm pretty sure after the purple team attacked it, they helped. They were like attacking with them technically, not on their side though. But they will branch out and just start branching out in different places. This country is pretty weak, so we do see like a whole battalion over here, up here. They're just kind of walking through the territory. Capital taken, and after that, there's pretty much nothing left here. So, we can see the peace treaty. The peace treaty, they take all this land, including that lake, the capital, and their westernmost major city. Now there's only a little bit left, and they just decided to join up with the purple team. Just like that, the purple team's colony grows a bit to where they originally wanted, all the way over to Borneo. So, that is pretty much. We have one more event, I forgot. One more event of the episode, which is another war, and then the episode will be over. The war between the green team and their old piece over here, their easternmost piece, who is at this point probably about the same population, but is bigger. And they're going to send their military in, because the reasoning here is basically they don't like them. Yeah, they don't like each other, so they're going to attack. That's the whole reasoning. They're, I don't know if it's like a monarchy or something. It's probably more of like a, I don't know if I said this or not. We're just going to say it's like a limited democracy. We'll say that. Yeah, limited democracy. And the western half over here is more like a monarchy. So, I don't think it'd be like an absolute monarchy, maybe. Somewhere along the lines of that. But, they will keep invading it, taking a major city on the border, and just taking a lot of the southern area down here. Which is mostly because they're retaliating and moving their troops through this northern part. And this guy over here makes a deal with them. They say, we will help you in the war, but you have to join you have to join the Continental Pact. And these guys are fine with that. I mean, like, they get protection from a whole Continental Pact. They get protection and protection from the war. So, like, that's a pretty good deal. So, they go ahead and do that. They send their troops in, and the whole northern front line collapses. The southern one is pretty much collapsed as well. They're sent all the way back to that major city on the border, right there. And they'll actually start a counteroffensive in instead of taking the rest of the land, because it's pretty much secured. So now they're just going to be invading into this country. And they will take a major city up at the north. And they'll start to go down south, down here, and over to the east where their capital is. And yeah, let's keep branching out. It's about like this. Where another country joins, being this purple team. So the purple team joins, and they're just fighting into these guys. So, these two, this dark blue team and the dark green team, hook up something, and this is these guys like fully joined the war, but only against the purple team. They declare war on the purple team, and yeah, they're way too strong for these guys. These guys fully collapse after they made it to the capital. They just fully collapse, surrender. All the troops are gone, I guess. Yeah, and these guys can continue marching in peace toward the capital, where they almost made it actually, but they hit kind of like a brick wall that the Eastern guys have set up, so they just take this major city instead, and they'll try to break through in 2 different spots, which they do, but not very much. Now, these guys fully moved their troops out of here. And they do encircle these guys in the major city and push these guys back a bit more. But in the end, they keep sending more and more troops over. They capture this city over here. And as more and more of their country is taken, citizens pretty much fully revolt. Like, the whole government is flipped on its head. And the whole, pretty much the whole government is taken over, besides for, like, where the king was currently staying, which is over here. And after this, they will just slowly move their troops in through here until reaching this city. And they surrender. So where we can see the peace treaty. Peace treaty, and you may not think it's that bad, but these guys just get all this land. This guy is allowed to stay alive. Of course, they're going to be moving their capital away from that border, even though it's their most populated city. They're moving down to here. And these guys also take over this land over here. And in return for these guys getting all this land, both of these new countries are going to have to join the new Continental Pact. So we will see an addition of 2 new members. Boom, 2 new members, and this blue team right here isn't really carrying themselves. Now, some important thing to note, though, is that core members, there's like 2 main parts. There's the military alliance. There's like, actually no, there'll be 3 main parts. The military alliance, the economical alliance, and the order alliance. Now, the military alliance would probably include something like the peach team, the blue team, like all like the main countries would be in on this alliance. All these guys. But the new people down here, like this guy, like Australia wouldn't, this guy wouldn't, but this guy does end up joining because they're actually like this government pretty much. So all these guys are like the military part of the alliance, and all these 3 aren't. But they are in the economical alliance, and the order alliance is the main part of the alliance, pretty much all together. And them saying they pretty much have to send aid in some way if any of these guys get in a war. They have to send some amount of aid, some sort of aid. Australia, though, they would probably join the military alliance soon because of the light red team. But yeah, that will do it for today's episode. I understand it might not have been the most eventful one, but if everything goes to plan, a major event will be happening in the next video. So I will see you in the next video of the series. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.